Welcome to the TV and Movie Review Show, bringing you a review on the latest TV shows and movies. So let's jump into it. Hope you enjoy the show.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Talking Out Loud with Jazzy929, and I'm your host, Jazzy929. This is my TV and movie review show. Today I'm going to be reviewing American Horror Stories. I hope you all enjoy. I do appreciate y'all all for tuning in. This title of this show, or this episode, is Slashdance. We are in season 9, episode 3. This show comes on Wednesday nights, and if I'm not mistaken, at 9, everyone. With that being said, let me go ahead and jump into my notes. These are some things that stood out for me. We see Chad and Ray fall into a ditch, you know what I'm saying, trying to escape. We see Chad is impaled through his chest. Ray confesses, you know what I'm saying, during this time to Chad, that during his junior year of college, he's seen an accidental death, you know what I'm saying, and it was a pledge member that died during Hell Week. I thought that scene was, you know what I'm saying, it was a flashback, it was pretty good, you know what I'm saying. It seemed like a pledge had gotten shrunk, you know what I'm saying. We see that Ray tells him to go ahead and sleep it off a little bit, but he winds up going down some stairs, and Ray thinks that he's dead, and he goes and puts this boy in the back of his car to get rid of him, and he goes to push this boy off the cliff, and when he does, you know what I'm saying, he finds out that this boy is still alive. So that way he tells Chad about his past. We see that Ray has left Chad. If I say his name right, y'all, if I'm not, please leave it in the comments below this episode. If I'm not mistaken, this boy's name is Chat. You know what I'm saying? Or Chat, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I will just say his name. His name is Chat. We see that, you know, Ray has left him to die. We see Xavier and Trevor try to save Chad, you know what I'm saying, because Ray leaves him, you know what I'm saying, Ray leaves him, he meets up with Xavier and Trevor, and he basically tells him, like, look, I wasn't going to sit there, you know what I'm saying, I can't get him off of this dang old stick, so therefore, I got to go, you know what I'm saying, because Mr. Jingles ain't going to get me, and they go back and try to save me, which I thought was great, you know what I'm saying. We see that Mr. Jingles we see that, hold on just a minute, y'all. We find out in this episode there's a twist. Before I get there, I want to mention, you know what I'm saying, Mr. Jingles kills, you know what I'm saying, 2 guys that's from town. You know what I'm saying? They're dressed up as Mr. Jingles. I guess during this time, you know what I'm saying, for the anniversary, everybody comes in, I guess, and play little games or whatnot. And, Mr. Jingles runs into these characters and he kills them. But there's a third guy, and Mr. Jingles decides not to kill him. And it looks like because Mr. Jingles actually sees this man, you know what I'm saying, he feels some sympathy towards this man. You know what I'm saying? It looks like this is the guy that everybody makes fun of, and not just that, he has asthma. You know what I'm saying? He's sick. So we see that Mr. Jingles actually leaves this man alone, which we find out that he dies later on because Trevor, or is it Ray? Right? No, Trevor. It was Trevor. Tries to go ahead and kill Mr. Jingles, and he pushes him into the pit with the spikes in it, and kind of find out it's the boy that everybody feels, or Mr. Jingles feels sorry for, that ends up dead. Sorry, y'all. We see that also in this episode. I want to bring up that the nurse. Oh, well, let me go ahead and bring this up first. Nurse Rita. You know what I'm saying? One of the twists in this episode is Nurse Rita is not exactly who we think she is, which is crazy. You know what I'm saying? I did love this twist. You know what I'm saying? We find out that Nurse Rita's real name is Diane Chambers. She is a student studying serial killers. At least that's what she says, y'all. She told the women at the psychologist, you know what I'm saying, that was over Mr. Jingles at the psycho institution, that who she was, a student studying serial killers. And she helps Mr. Jingles escape. She tells Mr. Jingles that she can help him, you know what I'm saying, understand why basically he killed. You know what I'm saying? She basically throws out there that there's plenty of reasons why people become serial killers. Basically, not the fact that they are just born evil. We see that that is revealed in this episode. That was a twist. She wants Mr. Jingles at the place that all the massacres happen, so his old habitat, so she can figure out what is actually wrong with him, what influenced him to go ahead and kill these people. We see that Mr. Jingles spoke on a lot of things that, you know, say could influence the reason why he's killing these people. He also said something about some type of syrup, you know what I'm saying? So I thought that was pretty cool. She tries, she didn't try. She did help Mr. Mr. Jingles escape. Something that stood out for me that I liked about this episode is when Mr. Jingles ran into the nurse. You know what I'm saying? The actual nurse. As we seen in this episode, we had a flashback, and Rita ran into the actual, let's say Diane Chambers, which is portraying to be Rita, runs into the real Rita, which is a nurse that's headed up to the camp, and she actually throws this woman in a trunk or whatnot, takes her up to the camp, and we see her tied up, and Mr. Jingles, actually, the crew finds her, you know what I'm saying? The people that, you know, the camp counselors find her, they can't save her. Mr. Jingles comes, they put her out there like a bait, you know what I'm saying? Mr. Jingles comes to kill her, he puts this, that was the coolest part of this whole episode, I think. He puts the paddle, it's a broken paddle, and at the end of the paddle, he sticks her in her mouth. I thought that was so dang cool. What a kill, y'all. We see that there's even a bigger twist, you know what I'm saying? At the end of this episode, like, wow. Like, this episode was pretty dang good, y'all. You know what I'm saying? We see Ray and Montana, you know what I'm saying, running from the Night Stalker, and they end up in this parking lot. And Ray basically tell Montana, like, look, I'm going to leave you on your own. I'm going to jump on this, you know what I'm saying, motorcycle and drive off. I'm going to basically leave you here to, you know what I'm saying, defend yourself, point blank and period. Montana looks like she's upset about this whole situation. And then we see that Ray walks up to her, you know what I'm saying. And at first I'm like, dang, you know what I'm saying, it looks like Ray about to take her out. But Ray doesn't take her out, you know what I'm saying. She pushes Ray, you know what I'm saying. Ray comes at her with this knife, basically puts this knife down her face to her body, and then she snatches him up, and they end up making out. And she tells Ray, you know what I'm saying, why, you know what I'm saying, haven't you killed her yet, you know what I'm saying. So I'm assuming she's talking about Brooke, y'all. Yeah, I think she's talking about Brooke, and I think she set this whole situation up with the Night Stalker going after Brooke, but we about to find out what's going on there, you know what I'm saying. But that was basically, you know what I'm saying, my review, you know what I'm saying, of the show and the things that stood out for me. These are a couple things that I want to know, you know what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure y'all do too. Feel free to leave your theories, you know what I'm saying, below this episode, because I would love to hear what your thoughts are. I want to know how Montana truly knows the stalker. How long have they known each other? What's the backstory between her and the stalker? Of course, I want to know. Did Montana set up Brooke from the beginning? And if so, why? I also want to know, would it did come back, y'all? I mean, we got Jacob, you know what I'm saying, and, no, not Jacob, I'm sorry, we got Jonas, the hiker. And we seen that he came back in last episode. We didn't get to see him this episode. I wanted to see him in this episode because I want a little bit more about his backstory and why he keeps coming back, about that limbo he's going through. I want to see why Mr. Jingles stabbed in the first place. You know what I'm saying? There has to be more to Mr. Jingles and his history. I want to know. I'm pretty sure y'all do too. And is there more that meets the eye with Margaret? I mean, there has to be. She's the spookiest character on here. They can't just, you know what I'm saying, not put something to her. You know what I'm saying? It just blew my mind that when we got the twist, you know what I'm saying, it didn't involve Margaret. You know, like, she's the spooky. I'm telling you, Margaret is more spookier than me on this show than Mr. Jingles and the Night Stalker. You know, I love what they're doing with this whole Night Stalker thing. I'm more scared of the whole Night Stalker thing than I am Mr. Jingles. I want to know what y'all thoughts are. Feel free to go ahead and leave your comments and thoughts below this episode. Feel free to go over to my other podcast platforms that are free. You could go ahead and subscribe, like, share, follow, and also check out my merch on Redbubble. I have different items that I put up all the time. It's under Jazzy Loyal, redbubble.com. Go check that out, y'all. I hope there's something that interests you over there. With that being said, I am going to close out, and I appreciate you all for listening in.
Welcome to the TV and Movie Review Show. Bring you a review on the latest TV shows and movies. So let's jump into it. Hope you enjoy the show.